Hi everyone, and welcome to your first community challenge. As you know, we're going to be releasing one of these each week to enable you to continue to learn from home. So today's community challenge reflects the fact that we know that amongst the people that are feeling the effects of this period of lockdown most intensively, we know it will be some of our older and more vulnerable relatives, neighbours, friends, and that can be a really, really difficult time, particularly if you're living alone at the moment and not able to go outside. So today's community challenge is simply about, it's called Desert Island Discs. And the idea is really, really simple. You get in touch with an older relative, probably a grandparent or older member of the family, and perhaps who's having to stay at home at the moment. And you ask them a really simple question for them to select the five pieces of music, the 5 discs that they would take to them if they were stuck on a desert island, possibly a nicer place to be stuck than the places we're stuck at the moment. But if they were stuck on a desert island and they could take 5 pieces of music with them, what would those 5 pieces be? And the idea is that these pieces of music remind them of 5 key periods in their life. So you might ask them for a couple of songs from their childhood, a song from being teenagers, and maybe a song associated with marriage or children, or a recent song. So the idea is getting them to pick these 5 songs that they then share with you through this music, the story of their life. I'm going to show you a short example that will appear at the end of this video. In preparing this, I called my great aunt. She's my granddad's sister. And it was in asking her about the pieces of music, asking her to select pieces of music that best captured her life, that I managed to get her to tell me some stories that she had completely forgotten, and some stories that took her back to being a worker in a factory in the 60s, and singing certain songs as they worked in the factory. And other really cool stories that I was able to get out of her because we focused on the music. And also we know that listening to music is great for our mental well-being and our feelings of satisfaction and joy anyway. So this is a really, really cool project that will enable you to bring hopefully a bit of enthusiasm, a bit of optimism, a bit of hope back, certainly to some people who may be feeling pretty low and isolated and alone at the moment. And so I just want to go through this first community project with you. So the idea is, as you can see here, that first of all, you try and work out some key facts about your relatives, when they were born, in order to work out the kind of key historical events that they might have lived through. Then the second thing we advise you to do is get in touch with your relative in advance. Now, we've said this might be an older relative, but of course this can be anybody in the family, or friends, maybe somebody who you want to record or interview and get a capture of their life story. But we are suggesting that it's an older relative because they tend to have had a longer life, and therefore more memories and a longer period to look back over. But whoever you contact, we suggest that you contact them in advance, and that you say, I'm going to be calling you up at this date and time, make sure that date and time works for them, to talk through the 5 tracks, 5 pieces of music that best sum up the happiest memories in your life, biggest events in your life. Obviously, a practical one: get the bill payer's permission, so parent, carer, whoever looks after you at home. If you're doing from a home phone, pay your mobile phone bill. Make sure that you are getting their permission to call home, to call your relative, sorry. Now, recording is optional, so the clip you'll hear in a moment of me doing mine, I was able to call my Auntie Sheila and use an iPad next to me to record the conversation. Obviously, I had her on speaker. But if you are recording and you manage somehow in your technical wizardry to include clips of the music, for rights reasons, you make sure that the music that is played is no more than 15 seconds. That is really, really important. And ultimately, the idea with this is that you are making this however and as big as you possibly can. Remembering the basic idea, this is our first week's community project. This is about us giving back. This is about us engaging and infusing and giving our older people some great opportunities to reminisce and remember and talk and teach you things about their past, which would be amazing to hear. But you can do whatever you want with that. We'd love you to share some of the recordings that you end up making. So if any of you do manage to record them, feel free, please, to email us some short clips using our email address down there, or to share them with us on Twitter by using our Arena Academy Twitter page, which is also given for you below. Or you might do a written project. You might kind of do a write-up, your relative's biography that you might write. You might produce some artwork, an image and a song, an image to go with each song, and a short story that your relative has provided, which again we'd absolutely love you to share with us. So the idea is you do whatever you want to do. Please be creative and imaginative with this. You might want to, in the course of your interview, ask them further questions. So there are a few here. I won't go through them all, because if you needed inspiration, obviously just press pause and select questions that you think might be relevant or useful as you're talking to your older relative, or trying to get them to add some detail to their stories. But the idea behind all of this, like I said, is a chance for us to remember that the people disproportionately affected by what's going on at the moment is our older people in society. And so it can be really, really brilliant if you have an older relative, a grandparent, someone who in the family needs something to think about, something to remind them of happier times. And music is a brilliant thing for doing this. This is really, really powerful and really positive way of getting older people to think, to reminisce, to share stories with you, to remember better times, in order to remember and remind ourselves and them that we will be over this. We will get over this difficult and challenging period, as we've got over difficult and challenging periods in the past. But this opportunity is just a really, really nice way of infusing, engaging, motivating ourselves and the people that we talk to. So please, please, please enjoy and engage with this project. You'll notice on the Core Connects timetable there are 3 slots where we suggest that you spend time doing this. I would suggest you use the first slot, just listening to this and hearing my short example that will follow my explanation here. The second slot that you spend thinking about and planning out your interview, so warning your relative what you'd like to do and what you'd like them to prepare, possibly setting some questions that you might ask them over the course of the interview, and deciding how that will work, and setting up any technology if you are lucky enough to have it to hand to record the interview. If not, just doing the interview itself, making some notes and writing it up as a report or biography afterwards would be brilliant as well. And then, of course, finally, the third session, actually doing that interview with your older relative, friend, member of the family. Please, 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 then finally share those with us. We'd absolutely love to see your work. So thank you very much. Please enjoy your first community project. Take care. Thank you.
So I think it's bought me a transistor radio.
Yeah.
So that was brilliant. So me and my mate would walk around the street with the radio playing on a Sunday.
Yeah.
When they played the top 10.
Oh, right.
So that was how what was in the charts on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I also used to tune in Luxembourg when I went to bed, because I could hear new records that were going to come out. So mostly it was radio. Also, we used to go to the youth club once a week or twice. Sherburn Road Youth Club.
Yeah.
Where they did table tennis and got a soft drink.
Yeah.
All very quiet and nice. They used to put some records playing.
Yeah.
So we used to do that, and we used to get dressed up for that. That was a highlight, I suppose, of the week.
Yeah. Did you have lots of boyfriends?
Oh, no, of course not.
Oh. Yeah.
I was working in Woolworth factory, and this girl came I used to work with.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, they want the girls up at the Toy.
Yeah.
Some money than here.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, do they? And I said, oh, I'll go up in my lunch hour, which I did.
Blimey.
I went up in my lunch hour and said to the foreman, I hear you need some girls. And he said, yeah.
Yeah.
When can you start? I said, tomorrow.
That is hard, isn't it? You can't imagine doing that today.
So I did, and it was rows and rows, because we were on hand presses and that, making the toys.
Right.
Spinning tops and all sorts of things that Chad Valley used to make.
Yeah.
And as we were, they always had the radio playing. It was workers something they used to call it. Anyway, the radio played all morning.
Yeah.
And workers' playtime it was.
Yeah.
And so this modern music used to come on, and we all used to burst into song. And one day the foreman come in, I'm still picturing him in his brown overall, and he got his hands on his head and he said, "Girls, please, can you just stop singing?" And we said, "All right, Harold." And as soon as he turned around, he stopped again.
Yeah.
Some of these songs can make me cry.
Yeah.
But I do love The Wonder of You.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's other one that which could really be sang today with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
If I Can Dream, which if you ever get a chance to listen to that night,
yeah,
it would be, it really could be sung at this time, really. Because it's about, he made it after JFK was assassinated, and then, of course, Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Yeah.
Two great men, especially Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And it really got to Elvis, apparently, and he made this record for that.
Do you remember that? JFK and then Martin Luther King? You must remember.
Oh, yes, I can remember exactly what I was doing when JFK got shot. Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was working in Woolworths.
Right.
Everybody was in total shock.
Yeah.
Because unlike the president ever at the moment, everybody loved Kennedy, and we felt, the whole world felt safe when he was in charge.
Yeah.
And his brothers,